parlay, we're going to have to get creative. I don't see it any other way. It's time to start thinking about what you're going to do. Because prices aren't coming down. Jobs aren't in abundance. Okay? They're not in abundance. And unless you're a tradesman, if you're like middle management, yeah, I'd be sweating. You know? Food is getting expensive. The cost of living all around getting expensive. And I don't see any way it's going to let up. All right? It's not going to let up. So what are you going to do? You know, the thing you need to understand is you can't keep on living your life in the design that you are, in the way you have been living your life. I think you can safely say the lifestyles of your parents and grandparents, it's going to be starkly different. You're going to have to do something different, you know. And it's going to take sacrifice. Everything comes with sacrifice. Everything. The reason why we're here is because of greed. Yeah. Unless you really accept that, it's just going to get worse for you. And what I would recommend you doing is finding a community. You know, maybe your friends, maybe your neighbors. We're just reaching out, you know, and networking. That's my dogs. Networking, you know, and finding people of different disciplines. You know, you've got your tradesmen. Maybe you have legal professionals. Maybe you have, like, you know, legal professionals like attorneys. Maybe you have accountants. Maybe you have medical professionals. Things like this. And I think the way that a lot of people have been living is pretty much, you know, on their own and kind of locking themselves away from other people. And I think everybody's waiting for that first shot. And it's not going to happen that way. No. You know, they're just going to keep on closing the walls in on people. And then there's going to be a lot of people that freak out. A lot of people that lash out. But as you probably know, energy has gotten more expensive. I mean, the price of insurance, things like this, is more expensive. People are going without insurance. You know, that's just the way it is. But you keep on supporting those people who are the greedy ones. You keep on supporting these big, huge companies. And it's like it's so ingrained into you that you can't do anything else. You're relying on the system the way it is. You're not going to be able to do that. All right, Zoe. My cat Zoe. What I would suggest you doing is buying a plot of land. There you go, Zoe. Buying yourself a plot of land. You know, some raw land somewhere. Somewhere where you can, you know, make a little cabin. Grow your own food. You know, raise some chickens. Get back to basics, really. You know, you can have your animals, you know, getting back to basics. I think that's the way forward. And that will enable you to live life on your terms, you know, on your terms, not anybody else's. and start networking and get a group of individuals that are like-minded. This girl. Like-minded individuals, and do a peer test on them. Peer them out. See if they work with you. What you want to avoid are complainers, people who create problems because of personality conflict, right? Keep yourself physically fit. Start eating better, right? Start eating better. Start exercising. I do it, I'm almost 49 years old. And I exercise when I can exercise. If it's 15 minutes here and there during the course of the day, well, I do that. Push-ups, sit-ups, go for a hike, go walk the dogs, go for a nice brisk walk. These kind of things. Keep yourself healthy. And what you don't want to do is, drink, eat like a pig, because that's not going to serve you well. Not in the next few years to come. You're going to be a very hungry person and very reliant on the system. You need to get yourself off the system as much as you possibly can. Of course, it's not going to be all the way, right? You're going to be relying on the government in some shape or form. But it's time to start really bucking the system, bucking it, circumventing it, these kinds of things, because these people are greedy. Greed, shrinkflation, greedflation, tariffs, all that other stuff. They're blaming everything on everything. But there are reasons why they're hiking up the prices, right? They're hiking up the prices because they want a profit. Record profits. You saw the graph. I mean, that's just one graph of many. That's just an example for this video. That's it. Just an example for this video. Just to show you. Kind of, break the ice. It's just an icebreaker. You can do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research. Okay? I mean, there's so many questions you can ask. So many questions. Like, why don't they have fruit trees everywhere? On municipal property, state property, federal government property. Why don't they have fruit trees? Why don't they have, just all kinds of different things to eat? Why don't they teach children where to get food? Why don't they teach that in school? Where to go get some food, right? Where to forage for food, just in case you don't have any food to eat. Because they want you dependent on the system. That's why. That's exactly why. They want you to be their slave. They want you to work your fingers to the bone. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to think for yourself. Not at all. They want you totally dependent on them and their labels and their titles that they'll give you if you pay money and do all kinds of crazy stuff and all kinds of homework and bog yourself down with all this homework rather than teaching you practical things. I know, I've been to college. I went through schools. At the end of it, I'm like, what did I do this for? I was thinking on becoming a medical professional and then a teacher, right? I wouldn't have made any money doing that, starting out, and then going through all the red tape and gatekeepers. I decided to go get the money, get the bag. I decided to go overseas and work overseas and all that other stuff. You know, I decided to travel. But at some point I knew I had to come back to the United States and then deal with it. Here I am. Here I am, dealing with it. When things get to a breaking point. You know, go, this weekend, watch Escape from New York, right? That's kind of what you'll see in a way. After all this inflation took a grip and did what it did and wreaked its havoc on the local populations of the different areas, and people becoming homeless, people getting hooked on drugs, all that. And if you don't think it's by design, then you have another think coming. It's absolutely by design. Some people are so wrapped up in their own cognitive dissonance where you're not really seeing the truth. Just go ahead and get your remote control and watch your football, watch your basketball, watch your baseball, and get numb, right? Just become mentally numb to it. And your low vibrational energy, eating all your chips, drinking your beer, and then pretending that nothing is wrong, right? Pretending nothing is wrong. And I'm not saying wallowing in negativity. I'm saying that develop a plan, make yourself better, right? Better yourself. Develop self-mastery. Start reading. Do all kinds of constructive things rather than destructive things to your life. Be practical. Start learning, make fire. Learn how to make fire. Learn how to grow plants. Learn about animal husbandry. I don't know. These are things that will serve you better, right? In the upcoming years to come. Because it's not going to get better, guys. It's going to get worse. And you're not going to get paid any more money. If you do, it's very little. If you do, it's going to be kind of like welfare from your company to say, yeah, we'll give you 1% of a raise this year, right? And you're going to say, oh, okay, as long as I keep my job, right? And you have like all this hustle culture and all this other bull crap. Get a second job. Do this, do that. You're not doing enough, right? It's because you're too lazy, right? No, one job should feed a family. One job should feed a family. So I wouldn't go out there and get 2 or 3 jobs. No. And then you're still going to be broke at the end of the day. And most of you can't even afford to have 1 9-to-5, let alone 2 or 3 jobs. You're going to have to start getting creative, right? And I think that getting creative, I think you'll find that it will unlock the hack of life. Because you probably would say, well, screw this. I'm going off into the country and I'm going to grow my own fruits and vegetables and I'm going to practice animal husbandry and all of that. And I'm going to do what I got to do to sustain myself and my family. Especially if you have a family, you don't really have a choice. I mean, you can stay in the city if you want and just wait it out until things get better. It's not going to get better. Not this time. Not this time. No. It's going to get worse before it gets better, of course. But it's going to get worse before it's going to get worse. And then it'll get better after that. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a decade or two. And if some of you people think that Donald Trump is here to save the day, and a lot of you saying, well, just wait. You're gonna let the plan come together. Yeah. You're gonna be waiting a very long time. Stop being a pessimist, Moke. Stop being a pessimist. Right? No, it's not about being a pessimist. It's about being a realist. It's about understanding the situation on the ground and mitigating it. And usually that mitigation starts and ends with you. That's what it does. It's not going to do anything else. So don't wait for it to. You have to get it done. It's up to you. It's not up to the next man. It's not up to your boss. It's not up to some politician. Nah, it's up to you. Completely. So start growing a pair. And start taking your life in your own hands. Because when it all goes down subtly, not suddenly, but subtly, you're going to be left wondering what to do with your pants down to your ankles. Okay? I'm telling you. The system set you up. They set you up. And some of you don't even know it. But they set you up. Like a bunch of fools. They set you up. And some of you think it's going to get better. You're going to vote in the right politician. Yeah, right. And yet they're going to take more and more from you. More and more. And then starve you and starve your family. And then you're going to blame them. But you've already been told. You've already heard other people talk about it. You got nobody to blame but yourself. Right? And some of you are in your gentrified areas thinking that the police will protect you. They're not going to. Not when the gang of marauders come to get everything and anything that they can get out of the people in that area. And unfortunately, the police, if they do anything, they're going to be responding to it. But before they respond to it, what are you going to do? Are you going to call 911? Oh man, some people are stupid. But I didn't write the rules, and I'm not even enforcing them. I'm just on the side telling you, wake up, wake up, wake up. The answer is within you. And you can handle it. You can do it. Start today. Start thinking of ways today to put your life back in your own hands. To go live a life, man. Live a life. Don't hunker down and think you're going to get all kinds of weapons and ammunition and all this other stuff and then defend your property when it happens. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. That's not going to work either. Just go out into the country. Learn how to move when trouble comes. And heck, it might not happen. And I hope it don't. I hope it doesn't. But the way this is moving, I don't see other way. I don't see any other way out of this. Because you guys aren't doing anything about it. You're not doing nothing. Every time they raise and hike the rates on you, you just lower your head. Okay, I guess I'll pay that. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to get a second job. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to be docile. They want you to be weak. go ahead and you don't have any time to cook your own food. You don't have any time to grow your own food. So you'll remain docile and sick and weak because you're not eating right. You don't have any time to go to the gym. You don't even have any time for yourself. You don't have any time for your family. So your family situation and everything like that, that's a non-issue for them. Yeah. The worst thing you can do is remove yourself out of their system so they don't have a stranglehold on you. So you're growing your own food, you know, you're living off the grid. Look, some people don't want to live off the grid, right? I don't think it's going to be a want. I think it's going to be a necessity here coming up in the near future, because the prices of everything are just going to, they're going to go so high, and a lot of you you'll be waiting for that collapse of the prices to go down. Yeah, yeah, and they should, really, they should. I agree, they should. They're not. They're not. A good time's ahead. If you can accept this and what's going on, you got good times ahead, man. Blue skies, good days. Yep, they're coming. That you just have to accept that life isn't going to look like it's looked yesterday, tomorrow. Okay? And just accept that. Accept that. I know it's going to be hard, but you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to accept it anyway. All right? I've got more positive videos coming up. I just wanted to kind of wake people up to the bull crap because too many people are asleep. And that's it. That's it. Have a good night. Have a good day, wherever you are in the world.